and then COVID happened a few months later. COVID happened a few months later, and here's one of the things that is very tempting to turn around and give up and be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be a business owner because I should just work for a job that I have guaranteed hours, guaranteed work, whatever. But what's funny about COVID is that showed us that nothing's really guaranteed.
Welcome to the Miguel and Delly Show. We're back here again, man. We took a week off and I hated it. It feels like so long. That's one. It feels like so much things happen. Time just keeps going, huh?
Bro, it don't stop for nobody.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Cause I was like, I don't know. I told you yesterday, I just hate missing out on things. If I have to put something to the side, it just like stays in the back of my head. And I was like, you should have done it. The reason we miss is because I went to Indiana.
How was it though, bro?
Brother, it's crazy how like when you plan a little trip, it could change your whole life. It's crazy.
It was one of those.
Yeah, I never been to Indiana. It's way different from obviously the city. I live in Boston. Um and one of my uncles, he works with the Amish, so he got us into like where they live, and this is just crazy. I
Oh,
started,
y'all were like that.
yeah, yeah, but so I started doing research after. I'm like, how do they do it? It's amazing, no
That's a whole
technology.
different world, bro. That's a whole different world right there.
Yeah, I gotta show you some pictures after.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He the dude that was showing us around, he was going to a horse pulling contest after, and he was so excited. It was like he never done anything, like that was his entertainment, and he was so excited. He was like, "Yeah, 6 o'clock," you know, and it's just I don't know, it just like humbles you a little bit when you take things for granted. You're on your phone for YouTube. We're doing this, that's something that they have no idea, but they're happy with that, and and I was asking him too because it's like traditional too. He was like, "Yeah, I lived with my mom and my dad, but then I built this house when I got married." So it's pretty dope how they take care of each other. They look out for each other. You can learn a couple things from them, brother.
Absolutely, man. I feel like that's how it should be. I feel like in a perfect society, we would even do things for money. We would just do things to exchange goods and services. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody contributes, and yeah, man, no, that's the way to go. And it's funny. I was just thinking about that. My Wi-Fi was out over the weekend, and so coming out like obviously I need internet to do what I do as far as the podcast and social media stuff. So whatever. Went to a coffee shop, went to the library, even just used like the hotspot on my phone, whatever. Obviously, it wasn't. None of them were as fast as my Wi-Fi, but it teaches you two things. One, to not take things for granted, but the other thing is like, are you still gonna make it happen, right?
Mm,
Without whatever else the other person has, without what maybe you're used to, are you still gonna get it done ultimately, right? Because nobody cares about your excuse; they just care about if you got the job done or not. And so,
100%.
yeah, dude, I definitely think about stuff like that often.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy. I'm still. I came back home, brother, and just started YouTube, and I was like Amish living. It's
Yeah,
it's an eye opener, bro. I'm still in shock, as you could tell. It's just like,
yeah, my boy Dally's about to go off the grid.
yeah, yeah. No, you could think about it. I was like, yo, I'll still do podcasting, but it'll be dope to just podcasting, separate myself from like society for a little, and put in the work too. That's something that I actually been thinking about. It's like I gotta go harder. You know, every time you gotta go harder, and it's something that it's weird. When you start to think about it. I seen this video today. I gained a lot of weight. Um, and I was looking myself in the mirror, and I was like, it's all that feeling, that like depression and all that people don't notice, you know, and until you notice, and it's like this happened because of that.
Right.
But it's nice that you I got to catch it, and it's time to do something about it.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's never too late to realize something.
Yeah.
So
No, bro, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But speaking about that, like like about the Amish stuff, I've been thinking about that a lot too. Like when it comes to just grinding and then being able to be off the grid, having a house in the country, and
you think you could live in
you
the
know,
country?
I've never lived in the country before, huh?
Do you think you could though? You think it's like for
Oh
you
yeah,
or?
oh yeah, bro. And this is what's surprising is like I'm actually naturally I'm an introvert.
Mm.
I'm naturally an introvert, which is shocking because of like what I do, speaking wise and for my business. No, I'm naturally an introvert, but just because I'm naturally something, it doesn't mean that I should do that or coincide with that. Whenever I'm about to go speak in an event, and then I know I'm about to get Q&As after, and I'm gonna, be bombarded with conversations after. I know that going into it, and I just tell myself, all right, it's time to be uncomfortable. Let's go be uncomfortable. And but obviously, like what's most important is the impact and everything like that. But yeah, dude, I could definitely live in the country, man, off the
Wait,
grid.
where did you get that from? Because you're like well spoken.
Um,
When did you realize? Like
I want to say football had a lot to do with it. Uh, I always wanted to be a leader. And you watch the Ray Lewis clips, and my boy Ray Lewis just going off and motivating people. And then now then I learned like true leadership, especially in sports, is those who lead by example. And so it's funny. I was never really the rah guy in the locker room. I just wanted to work my butt off and lead that way. But um, yeah, naturally speaking, I wasn't even good at that, dude. It was just repetition. It was a combination of doing it over and over again, even though I'm uncomfortable, and also the purpose behind it, right? Of impacting people and everything like that. Like what was at stake. And you want to hear something cool?
obviously, come on, brother.
He's like, obviously, this is the Miguel and Delly Show. Come on now. I was watching this video one time of this lady giving some advice about public speaking, and she was spot on. I wish I could remember her name, but she said, we all get those nerves and everything like that. But something that will help with the nerves of public speaking is putting yourself in the mind state of being on the Titanic, right? We all know about the Titanic that sunk. Put yourself in that state of being in the Titanic, and you're the first person who finds out that the ship is sinking. You're the first person. So what you do after that is very critical. Every moment, every second matters, and you know that. So you go out immediately and you're just shouting. You're telling people, "Hey, the ship is sinking. The ship is sinking." You're banging on people's doors. The sick is ship. We need to get out. We need to evacuate. Let's go. You don't care how you look. You don't care how you sound. You don't care what people think of you. You don't care if your outfit is the best. You don't care about all these things. All you care about is helping to save people's lives, right? Helping to make a difference, helping to get people into safety, helping to get people into the right direction into their lives. And so that's the mindset we need to have when we're speaking, right? It's not so much of a, oh gosh, I'm going to humiliate myself, or, people are going to think that my voice is weird, or, I should have wore a nicer shirt, whatever the case may be, right? We think of all these things that build up that anxiety and that fear when it comes to public speaking. But if you just stay focused on, hey, I got to rescue people off this sinking ship of life, right? Since so that even though I was already speaking by then, hearing that it only helped me so
Yeah,
much more.
100%.
So yeah, that's
What
that's
was
that's
your? What was? Have you had like a time when you were speaking and you just like, yeah, I blew this.
um I would say my first actual time standing up and speaking in front of people was actually at a boys and girls club. I was 17,
Oh wow.
17 or 18. Yeah, and is because some of my trainers, they were connected with the Boys and Girls Club, and they they knew my story of how I was sick at 13 and all that stuff and bounced back, and I'm going to go off and play college football and blah blah blah. So they wanted me to share my story. The only thing was is I kind of prepared for it, but once I kind of got into it, I just like kept going. It was like I was just telling the story. The only thing was where I felt like I blew it is I lost track of time. And
Kept going.
I could kind of see like one of my guys in the one who put it together for me.
He's like,
kind of like this, like, right, and then he just finds the perfect moment to interrupt me and be like, "Man, hey, Miguel, thank you, man, so much." Like,
hey, I'm not done yet.
right. I'm like, oh no. Like, I'm getting to the best part now, but no. So in that moment, I took time management a lot more serious, but yeah. So that was aside from that, I always feel like I could do better. I always feel like
100%.
I always nitpick what I could have done better. But yeah, bro.
So when you came,
speaking, bro.
Yeah, so when you came in, you said you just finished training people. Is that all you do? Is that like your full time?
Bread and butter. Yeah, that's my bread and butter. Yeah, I started training athletes. Well, I started as an actual like certified official trainer in 2019, and only 6 months after that, I went off and started my own business. I went away from the corporate world and
Stop right there, because I know there's a lot of people that want to start their own business, but they don't know what's the first step to take. So if you could break down a little bit how your journey was, I think that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, dude, absolutely, bro. I was working at 24-hour fitness. Okay, for those of you who don't have one in your area, just a huge gym,
open 24 hours.
Chain. Yeah, it's like Gold's Gym. It's like I don't know what these other gyms are called, but yeah, it's and that was actually one of my first jobs when I first moved here to Portland in 2016, 15, something like that. And they worked me at every position: front desk, daycare, membership sales, everything. Like I was like a Swiss Army knife to them because I speak Spanish too. And they fast forward time, I'm doing my college football thing, and I'm already there. I'm at I finally get like scholarship offers, and I'm at my college, my university. But I have a kid, so I still have to work and stuff. Like uh, college was helping out with scholarships and stuff like that. But so my last year of college is when I actually officially got certified to be a trainer, and I couldn't even really do because I was living paycheck to paycheck and all that stuff. So I was like, I know when you become a trainer, you got to build up your clientele. So the first month or two are going to be slow, and I couldn't afford that. But I got a very big unexpected tax return. And I just felt like that was God's sign right there to be like, all right, let's get it. And I'm like, all right, I ain't got no excuses. Let's get it. So about the first 6 weeks were slow. And then like that, boom, everything just takes off. New client after new client after new client. Like I had a whole strategy of being at the front desk, acting like I was a front desk worker, kind of. And I would greet people on their way in, and like we have a computer in front of us, right? And so as they would check in, their information would pop up, and it'd be like, "Oh, hi, Susan. I don't know if you know this, but you actually have a free session on your account that you can use anytime. I don't know if you want to schedule that." Maybe 20% of people would say yeah, and then I'd be like, "Well, I'm actually one of the trainers here. Like, I'd love to get you on my schedule." And out of all the free sessions I had, at first I wasn't closing on any of the potential clients. I had to find my rhythm and everything like that, and but I was determined, man. I was dedicated. I was there on holidays, 4th of July. Everybody, no, gyms were just about empty, but I was looking for that one person that would hop on my schedule. And even staff was low. Nobody wants to work on holidays like 4th or especially 4th of July. And funny enough, there's a lady that comes in. Her name's Leah. Shout out to Leah. She's still to this day a great friend of mine. And she comes in, and I ask her if she wants to, get on my schedule, get a free session. And she says, yeah, sure. She's super hesitant. and then she comes in for a free session, and she became a very long term client. Even she even went with me when I started my own business, and so it's just the grind, bro. It's just the grind. Like, how hard are you willing to work? What are you willing to sacrifice? Like, you can't do both. You can't commit to the grind and still have a free social life. You just can't. You just there's no such thing as balance, right? You gotta lock in. You gotta commit to it. You gotta, like, how do you expect to get more than what other people have if you're doing exactly what they're doing? Right? That the math there ain't mathing. You have to stand out, right? You can't stand out by fitting in. You have to stand out in your work ethic. And what are you doing on holidays? What are you doing on weekends? Spend time with your family, but why can't you wake up earlier than everybody else and put in some work and then have a great holiday with them? Right? What athletes? Why can't you wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning on Thanksgiving so you can get your workout in and then spend time with your family? So, like, to me, all excuses are out of the window. When it comes to being a great worker and running your own business. So now, starting up my business, I had very to little plan, and on purpose, because I know some of the greatest planners are some of the worst executors. Right? So you can have the best plan in the world. Oh, yep, this is my 5-year business plan. This is what the name's going to be. This is what this is, everything, my whole strategy, everything's blueprinted, and then never take that first actual step. I see it all the time, almost every day. I talk to one person that has some sort of idea, and they don't act on it. Right? The podcast stats. Right? What is it? 90% of people don't make it past the first 3 episodes.
Yep.
And 99% of people don't make it past 21 episodes. So
what was that one? I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
What was the second one?
Come out with 21 episodes. You are in the 1% of podcasters.
1%.
1%.
We're here in episode 2, guys. So
we're in episode 2.
Hey.
But no, what's cool is that we are 2 1% podcasters here starting a new podcast, which will, Lord willing, exceed many
100%.
Many
yeah,
episodes. Absolutely, bro. But,
yeah. So you got your LLC, right?
Got my LLC. Yes.
Okay, and then what was after that?
Do that online. LLC, super easy. Just Google it. How do I get my LLC?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You hear that all the time. That's what you hear on TikTok. It's like you get your LLC, boom. What is it actually like? After that, what's the next step after you get your LLC? How was that for you?
Yeah, it really just depends on what you're trying to do. For me, like I only had about 12 clients at the time, give or take, and I couldn't afford to lease out my own building. There's just no way. So I had to find somebody who already had their own building, like a private gym, and basically ask them, like, hey, can I private contract out of your place? Which is pretty much like, I don't work for you. I'm like your tenant.
Yeah,
I'm just like, the going rate's around $1,000. Like, I'll pay you $1,000 a month for me to train my athletes and run my whole business out of your establishment. Most people will say yes, because that's
profit to them.
That's profit. That's money they don't need to worry about. Like, I don't need to like be your boss. I don't need to manage you or micromanage you. Obviously, like there's always house rules to a gym as far as put away your weights, all this stuff.
I mean, yeah, as it should.
Right. If your client throws up, you or your client cleans up the throw up, stuff like that. But so yeah, that's what I did. I checked out a few different private gyms, and then I locked into one, and then COVID happened a few months later. COVID happened a few months later. And, here's one of the things that is very tempting to turn around and give up and be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be a business owner, because I should just work for a job that I have guaranteed hours, guaranteed work, whatever. But what's funny about COVID is that showed us that nothing's really guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially, was it?
Just about everything shut down.
Yeah, the step on. What do they used to call it? The workers are essential. Except the essential workers, they had to go no matter what. And it sucked because the essential workers were trying to stay home too. But hey, they had to be on the road. So I'm like,
You know what I'm saying?
they
Yep.
taught us a lot.
That's right, bro. Absolutely. And so, but even what's funny is like I got a lot of hate as I was leaving 24 hour fitness and going into my own business. Like people were telling me it's not going to work, not a good idea. It's tough to run your own business. You can't take any of our clients with you, even though they weren't their clients. They were
Clients,
my
yeah.
clients. I'm the one who grinded for them. And they love me. They don't love 24-hour fitness training. They love Miguel's training at 24-hour fitness. And so they all came with me. Every single soul that I had as a client, they all came with me. And but what's funny is that 24-hour fitness never reopened after COVID. They couldn't
Ooh.
afford to. So it's funny, not that I'm super petty, but like I outlasted them, and what's even more funny is now I rent out of that same space that 24-hour fitness used to rent out of.
Is that a new gym?
I mean, it's just a empty space, and me and about four other trainers running their own businesses. We all just like pitch in rent, and there's like no name to it. We all
Yeah.
just have our own brands, our own businesses running out of it. But yeah, it's funny because now, and a big reason why I left the corporate world was because I couldn't have my son with me as I was training my clients. Which I get it; it's corporate, heavy machinery around, it's a gym, whatever. Then running my own business, my son was with me every time, like every time, right? Every time I had my son, and I had a client. He came with me, and he was basically raised in a gym since he was 3. And it's funny now going to that old 24-hour fitness that's now essentially my business. My son gets to come with me, so it's it's
That's
it's
dope.
it's really funny how everything comes around and how life works, man. But yeah, my advice to people wanting to start up your business is what makes you stand out, because it's nothing that you do that makes your business flourish. It's who you are. It's what your character is. It's what your habits are, right? And you may hear that from a lot of people, a lot of coaches, but it's so true. Like you can't you have to become the person who can have a successful business. You have to become the person who can generate generational wealth. Like you have to become that person. And yeah, that's really it.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize what happens behind the scenes, and because I've seen a lot of people trying to start their businesses, or they do start their businesses, and then they complain, or like there's so much competition.
Right.
I'm like, there's a gas station in every corner around here,
Yep.
like, come on, you can't. You have to, like you said, you have to really want it, and you have to go get it. What makes you different?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm a switch it around, brother, because I we took that week off, and I'm not sure if you're aware, Bronny James getting drafted to the Lakers.
The boy Bronny, man.
We were just talking about hate. He got a lot of hate.
He's getting a lot of it right now.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
so what's your thought on that, on the whole situation?
You know what, man?
Especially you
I
have a
don't
son.
know. I don't know if he's good enough. I don't know. There's a lot of people who didn't have crazy numbers in college, but they went off to be great NBA players. Um, Vice versa. There's people who had incredible numbers in college and turned out to be busts, right? Now, would he be in the NBA if LeBron James wasn't his dad? I'm going to say no. But I don't see a problem with it. You
Okay.
know what? This reminds me of like I have this good friend of mine. She was a teacher at my son's school, and she comes from money. Like her family has wealth, so she doesn't really need to struggle. She has a really nice car that's paid off. It's just hers, and it's unfortunate, but her partner always gives her crap about that. Like, oh, must be nice. Like, oh, no, like
A partner.
her partner.
That's
Yeah,
tough. That's tough.
that's a
Yeah,
whole other thing,
that's
man.
tough though. Yeah.
But I remember I was talking to her one time, and I'm like, you should never feel bad for your family's hard work. Like we live in such a society like that, to where you'll almost get judged for having a great father figure in your life. Like, what? You
Mhm.
have a dad? I remember that when I was growing up, like in middle school, high school. It was
I was gonna
always so
say
cool.
you see that more, when you're in school. That talk when they belittle you for actually having a good life, and it's like it's not my parents' fault that they actually made it out. It's
Right?
crazy.
Right? And it's only a problem when your parents don't teach you what they learned. Right? Like with it's so with Marcus, with my son, dude, I'm making sure he's learning as we're going. Like he, obviously up until he was 3, like even when he was 3, we had nothing. We were paycheck to paycheck, everything. And he's grown as the business has grown, and he's seen everything. He's seen every step of the way. And but I don't just want him to like live alongside it and not learn anything from it, and me just buy him stuff and him not really see what it takes. Like he's been learning a lot about business. Bro, he asked me about commercial real estate a couple
That's
weeks ago.
that's amazing.
Yeah. He didn't say it like that. He doesn't know that terminology, but he just asked about who owns the building, and who works in the building, and is that their boss, and all this stuff. And so we had a whole conversation about commercial real estate. And so uh again, it's only bad if, like, let's bring it back to Bronny James. If he had no work ethic, if he didn't put the work in, if he couldn't even dribble a basketball or tie his shoelaces, then this would be a big problem. But he has at least shown glimpses of efficiency. Like it was some All Star game. I forget which All Star game it was, but he went off, bro. Like he got a lot of buzz from that All Star game for college, and yeah, man. So yeah, there's gonna be haters. There's gonna be haters no matter what. But
Yeah, it just gets to me, brother, because I'm like, what's the difference between and your friend, and hey, when you're 16, can you get me into that job? It's the same thing, If if anybody could get you into a better lifestyle right now, I guarantee you would take a shot and be like, hey, can you get me in that company? Can you do this for me? Can you do me that solid? Nobody's gonna turn that around. So,
and if you didn't take it, what does that make you? An idiot.
hundred
Because
percent.
because you gotta take. Oh my goodness! Like it's like that one story. You ever seen The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith? Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
I actually Chris himself came and talked to my school when I was younger.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
And then
Um,
that's when I realized that at the end of the movie it was him walking by because he told us and I didn't realize it till when he came and gave us, a big
yeah,
speech.
yeah. I forgot when I learned that, but then whenever I watch it again, I always look at that last part of
Like, that's him. That's Chris.
yeah. He got a little limp to a little step to him. It was cool, but towards that scene, actually, towards the end of the movie, the son, Will Smith's son, gives him a funny joke. He's like, there was a man drowning in the water, and he prayed for God to help him. And a boat came by and said, "Do you need help?" And he said, "No, thanks. God will help me." And then another boat comes by. "Hey, do you need help?" "No, thanks. God will help me." And I think even another one came by, and he ended up drowning and died. And he asked God, "Hey, how come you didn't help me?" And God was like, "I sent you 3 big boats, you dummy." And it's so funny because the things that we're praying for, these opportunities can open up. And what are you going to say to him? No, no, thanks. God's got me. He's like, yeah, God does got you. He's giving you this opportunity, whether it be through a friend or through a parent or through whatever the case may be. And so, no, man, I agree with you
We
100%.
got actually I got that on the list today. I made some notes. I got and it's funny how things work because you've been talking about it. You've been mentioning God. I was gonna ask you, do you believe in God? Which I'm pretty sure you do.
I do, bro. Yeah, man. I grew up Christian. And when I was 18, when I moved to Chicago, I took that way more serious because, I was alone through my Chicago and LA days. And I even did some ministry work, bro. I would like have Bible studies with people in college and stuff like that. And But when I was so let's see, I'm 27 now. When I was 25, I want to say, I went through like a year and a half little, I want to call it search, right? Because I've always in my life been like, why am I a Christian? Is it just because like I didn't have an opportunity to decide for myself, right? Is it because that's what I was raised up in? Whether it be like, going to church every Sunday, which we didn't, or even just praying and we would all pray to Jesus and all this stuff. So I'm like, what if I was born in the Middle East? I would most likely be a Muslim, right? And I would think that my way of thinking is right and your way of thinking is wrong, right? So I kind of got into that inner battle, and I'm like, you know what? I want to just do this on my own. I want to really study this out and figure this out on my own, because I could be wrong. This whole thing could be wrong. I don't know. And so, honestly, for over a year, bro, I was like an agnostic. So I believed in God, but I didn't like claim to any religion. And but I didn't just use that as an excuse to just whatever, not feel guilty for whatever I'm doing. Or I was genuinely studying, bro. And uh yeah, man, I studied out a lot of obviously the Bible, other religions. Not only that, but like just like theories and everything, and all of it eventually all of it brought me back to the Bible and to Jesus, and maybe that's for a whole different episode when it
Uh,
comes to that. But uh, yeah, man, it's just
so where
you
you at
can't
right now?
prove, yeah, what I'm saying, you can't prove anything, but there can be evidence for a lot of stuff, right? Like, I can't prove to you that I'm a good guy. I just can't. There's no way I can prove that to you. I can give you a lot of evidence to make you believe that I'm a good guy based off of my lifestyle, based off of how I treat people, based off of how I treat you. But you can't really prove anything in this life. All of it is even research, right? We
Yeah.
it's evidence,
So
and
right now,
so there.
at this moment in your life, where do you stand with that?
Oh, bro, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe Jesus is Lord. I believe He is. I wholeheartedly believe it, man. But here's the thing: is I could be wrong. you know and I think with someone's religious belief, if they say that there's no way I'm wrong, I don't think that's genuine.
Mm.
I think that's very arrogant, because we can't prove anything. And think about the Bible. It talks about how important faith is. And what is faith? Faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance of what we do not see. And that's in Hebrews 12 in the Bible. And so you know what I'm saying? So it's just like I believe that Jesus is our Lord and Savior, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to disrespect anybody else's religion. It doesn't mean that I'm going to, guarantee someone that this is the way. It's just like, hey, I believe that this is the way. I have done thorough research, and it's not just me praying and a Bible falling off a tree and hit me in the head. Like, it's genuine research and prayer
Have
alongside that.
Have
But
you had that moment? Have you had that moment in your life when you were like, yeah, God is real? Like, you know, there's a lot of people that have like a moment. I forgot who. What's the owner of the Yankees? What's his name? You definitely
well,
seen him. He's a beast.
owner of the Yankees.
I'm pretty sure he's the he's the owner.
I don't know any owners of baseball except for the old owner of the
Well,
Dodgers.
I don't even. I knew that because I didn't know he. I didn't know him off the baseball part. I just knew him because he's like he does a lot more. But then I found
I
out
see.
he was the owner. But anyways, he he was like arguing with his mother, and he hasn't talked to her for like I think it was like years. And he was like, like give me a sign something, and a private number called him, and he never picked up private numbers. And it turned out it was his mom after like I forgot. I think he said over 20 years not speaking to her. So it's like a lot of people have that moment. Have you had a moment like that or close to?
You're talking about Patrick but David.
Is that his name?
Yeah, he's like he's a Middle Eastern guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick but David. Yeah, I heard him tell that story. You know, it was amazing.
I'm
Um,
gonna search it up
gosh,
just
man,
to.
I honestly I haven't had that moment, and I don't know if I would necessarily want that moment. You know, because uh, I don't want to do anything in my life or believe anything based off of feelings.
Okay.
You know, because feelings could be false, right? The devil gives us feelings, you know, and I'm not trying to belittle like people's stories of that of really experiencing some sort of connection with God. Um, but again, like okay, the closest I'd say to that is like evidence, right? Because like stuff was really tough in the beginning of sharing custody with my son, and I thought that I wasn't going to have a relationship with him at all. I thought that I wasn't really going to get to see him much, and um, it's only been God. It's only been God that has moved the way He's moved to not only allow me to see him more, but help at his school every day. And there's no way that this was all me. There's just no way. And so, like that'd probably be the biggest, evidence to me that not only that there is a God, but that God loves me and He's looking out for me and He's doing what's best for me and for my son. But what about you,
Yeah.
bro? Have you had one of those experiences?
I'm not sure to be honest. I mean, I feel like low key my whole life has been like ever since I was born. I was tangled with the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
So just from the start, I feel like it's been like situations after situation, and somehow I'm still here. I just this happened this week, but my job now is my ex job was offering me a pay. They gave me a pay cut. They're like,
Mm,
and I was like, yeah, I'm not. I personally won't do it for that much, like so. Sad to say, but I'll leave instead of taking that big pay cut. And you know, and my mom was like, because what I drive, I need a van for what I used to do. And
yeah.
my mom kept insisting me. She's like, get a new van, just get a new van. Um, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to take a new van. I gotta pay new car payments and get insurance. And she kept bothering me. But something I had a feeling. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And look, it turns out this happened this week. So imagine I got a van and I had to, I'll be there with a new van making car payments. I'll be sick to my stomach. So it's just like things
Yeah.
like that I'm like, everything happens for a reason. And I think I said it last episode too. It's sometimes you might not know the answers, but you should just, take a second to relax and the answer will come to you. So I feel like that's what I did, and here I am, man. Right now, to be honest, I don't even know what's the next step for me, but I'm, I know I got more. There's more in life
Hmm.
for me, and I'm ready for
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
Absolutely, bro. And you're built for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's something. Actually, that's something that I feel like I learned over the years. It's like younger me would probably be like devastated. What do I do now? But I'm just like remaining calm. In the situation, in any situation, helps a lot, and it could overcome any situation when you're calm. A lot of people panic and make wrong decisions for not analyzing what's going on.
Yep.
So yeah, here we are,
That's so on
brother.
point, dude. That's so on point. It's something I say often is don't sweat the little things, and just so you know, they're all little things, and or at least most things, right? Except for the tragic things that happen to us when we lose a loved one or something like that. But no, man, is we sound very similar in the sense of like you just been through too many things, you've been around the block too many times to trip over something like this.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I'm 27 too. I didn't know you were 27.
Oh shoot, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, brother. But yeah, it's just like keep learning. I guess. It's like I'm excited too.
What about you, bro? What like obviously believe in God. Like, what's your status with that?
I think my mother's like Catholic, so that's where we grew up. I used to go to church when I was younger, and I used to go to the like Bible studies for like the children, and I remember they asked me to like recycle a verse or something, and I had no idea. So that was the last time I went to that class.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but no, I always I feel like over these last 2 years I got closer with God. Just not me going to church, but me in a relationship with Him. Talking to Him every day and every night. The way I talk to Him is, I'll say, is like different than other people too. I talk to Him as like a friend, and literally it could be, sounds crazy, but it could be like me driving. I'm like, hey, what's up, God? Like, hey, I hope you're doing good today. Type relationship I have with Him, and I feel like once I built that relationship with Him, my whole life changed. You know, and that's why probably I changed too. That's why I probably don't panic about the little things like I used to, because I feel like it's His plan. His timing, and I'm not worried about my time, and my time is gonna come, and I know it is. I just got to be patient, and that's me trusting Him, man. And I'll always leave it up to Him, and I feel like, yeah, me and Him are cool, brother. I love that man.
Yep. Yep.
So that's my relationship with Him, man, and I'm 100% believe in Him. You know,
Yeah.
um, yeah, and like I said, I let Him, give me signs, and I'm like, especially when I need it, I'm like, hey, God, give me a sign, and maybe not right away, but like a week later, He'll answer.
Yeah.
He's a busy
Now,
man.
he's a busy man. That's right. So I feel free not to answer this. This
Oh,
is something that I
I'm an
I
open book,
I
brother.
didn't answer for a long time in my podcast. But so when you say God, is it is it Jesus? Is it a different God? Is it just God? Like that's kind of what I was when I said agnostic. Like I believed in God, but I just didn't claim to, I guess, any of these religions or
Yeah,
teams. Where are you
yeah.
at with that?
Um, that's a great question, actually, because growing up in a Spanish household, you see Jesus. You know, it's Jesus, so you see Him everywhere. That's why, and as a mom, that's Diosito. So that's kind of like God at first, but I'm like, God is is Dad. So I believe there's a high, like, God is. I feel like there's one God, that we all look up to in every religion, because everybody has a God.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I look up to. I think there's one God. I don't think it's Jesus. I think it's above Him.
Yep. I got you.
So that's what I believe.
Yep. Yep. I got you,
Don't
man.
know if
I got you.
you. What do you think about that?
Um, I mean, again,
You know.
I believe that Jesus is Lord. I believe that, um, I believe that I, I, there's evidence that he lived on Earth, right? But as far as the resurrection and everything like that, there's not evidence. It's word of mouth, right? However, um, eyewitness testimony is very valid, right? It's very
Mm,
valid, and we use it in the court systems, right? We use it in trials, and so based off of the eyewitness testimonies of over 50 people um, during the life of Jesus and after the life of Jesus, and the fact that people were willing to die for what they saw and also what they heard, because all the people who were killed never met Jesus. But no one's willing to die for a lie that they know is a lie. Nobody
mm.
will die for that, right? And so, just with all that, like all the evidence I've gathered and everything, that's what I believe. But I could still be wrong. So I'm not the one. I'm not one that's gonna tell you, bro. What? No, you gotta believe what I believe.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I'm not like that either, man. I believe actually, my younger brother, he doesn't believe there's a God. You know,
Okay.
so I think he's more like of a science person.
Okay.
Which
Like just straight kind of atheism.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't judge him for that. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not in his head like, hey, you gotta believe in God, man. Yeah, so I'm glad you're like that too, because there are those people
Yeah,
that
no,
try,
for sure, bro.
and I feel like not to be, but there's a lot of people, those people are kind of like the biggest hypocrites, and it is what it is, though.
Yep.
So
Yep. I agree with you. I agree with you. Um, yeah. I mean, there's hypocrites everywhere, bro, and uh, that's. But I'm sure you relate to this. But that's why I do what I do, man, to try to help those people out and try to get them to be real with themselves and expose themselves, so then they can make drastic changes in their life. I think
yeah,
last two episodes I came out with on my other pod was a lot about self accountability and how um, you gotta take responsibility for where you're at in your life right now. Like you can't blame nobody. Even if it was an ex boyfriend, you're the one that allowed the ex boyfriend into your life. You got to take accountability because when you don't, you give the other person the driver's seat in your life. And when you take accountability, you also take charge in your life. Now you can dictate where you're going. If it's just you going with the wind and you blaming the wind, then the wind's gonna take you wherever it wants to take you. Um, but uh, but yeah, bro. So just when it comes to people that have that hypocrisy and everything like that, like let's get right. We've all been there. We've all been to some level of hypocrisy and lack of accountability, but we
yeah.
gotta be better. And
A lot of things that I see too is
hey, keep talking, bro. I'm gonna swap my battery.
oh, you're good, but a lot of things that I notice is sometimes it's not even things don't come back to bite them. It bites,
Yep.
like their kids, and
Mm.
I've seen a lot of that. Um, it's like hey, this guy's like a drunkie, and you're judging somebody, but hey, remember you got a kid too. You don't know what the future brings for that.
That's right.
You gotta get.
That's right, bro. I think we're in here. Are we in here? Yeah, there we go. Yep.
That was slower this time. So what's going on? Supposed to get faster.
What? Ah, I try to clock that time
Last
nice.
time was fast. I was like, oh snap.
Man, you must you got high expectations of me, bro. That's great.
Gotta keep it like that.
Yep. Hey, I got a question.
What's up, my brother?
Caitlin Clark.
I was gonna go see her when I was down there,
Really?
and
Oh, that would have been dope.
I should have because she dropped a triple double that game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. First rookie to ever do it for the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we talked about Bronny and all the hate that he's getting. Caitlin Clark is getting a lot of hate. You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of Jackie Robinson.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
right.
interesting.
Jackie Robinson, first black player to ever play pro baseball. Right. I don't want to put her at that level, but Jackie Robinson changed the game of baseball and even helped, the battle to fight against discrimination a lot. But he had a price to pay for it. It came at a cost, right? He was mistreated by his own teammates. He was, balls were purposely thrown at his head or to him. He went through a lot of abuse, for sure. That for those first couple years, um, but it paid off. Now I think Caitlin Clark's going through something similar, dude. I think that, but this makes a lot less sense, right? Because she's being hated on for bringing attention to the entire sport.
Yeah, which
Not only that, but to women's sports, right? How do you feel about that, bro?
I think you hit it right on the nail. I feel like they should be happy, because everybody's gonna get paid, and I don't even think it's gonna be. This is for the future, you know. The young girls right now, they're gonna be the ones making the most money ever made in the WNBA, and it's because of Kane Clark. Um, but I get it. I guess the old heads. You see the rookie doing better than you. You're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna try to prove them wrong. But yeah. There's I don't think there's nothing they could do about it. She got it. She got it. And
Yep. Yep. And it's
um,
just, it makes no sense. Like, even the old heads, I get it. Like, they've been grinding their whole lives. A lot of them, are
maybe
veterans
you
now.
think it's because maybe the old heads feels like it's too late for them to get paid. Like they got a couple years.
There's definitely like that envy, right? There's definitely
Oh,
that jealousy
100%.
of like, who do you think you are? We've been doing this for X amount. Like, look, it don't matter how she got it. It don't matter how she got the attention to the sport. Like, and it's funny because a lot of them are activists for getting paid more in the WNBA and women's sports. So and
They
she
just
earned
wanted
it.
to be the ones. That's what it is. They
Exactly.
wanted to be the face,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
so it's like,
Right. But she earned it, bro. Like, she is the leading scorer in college basketball history. She is the leading scorer. She got the 3-point records. Like, she earned it.
yeah, and it's scary to watch because at first she was having a tough time. Now she's kind of settling in, and she's getting scary already. She's like, I think this is her fifth double double with assists. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, I feel like she's gonna take, if it's not this year, the end, finish the year off strong. She's gonna become something very scary for the WNBA. So
Absolutely, bro. Yep. I love to see it. But hey, let this be a lesson. We talked about Bronny. We talked about even a little bit about Jackie Robinson, and we talked about Caitlin Clark. When you are on to something great, when you're on to something great, there's always going to be people that are going to try to tear you down. There's always going to be haters. I even had this conversation with my son Marcus because he wants to start a YouTube channel and social media for his baseball, like, come up and everything, like his batting practices, everything.
have you seen the clips of baseball, like the little league playing? They're like
Yeah,
mic'd
I have.
up. That's great.
It's dope, dude. Yeah, and so, but here's the thing: is I went over the pros and cons with my son about taking this to social media, and I'm like, hey, there could be people who despise you. There could be people who talk crap to you in tournaments and in games of like, oh, look, it's the social media famous baseball player, and mock him and all these things, and do their extra best to strike him out or to get him out or whatever. And so I made sure he knows that. And I was like, well, here's the thing, Marcus, is you're going to get haters regardless. I have haters. And he was like shocked. And I'm like, nah, just, I'll read you some comments sometime. Maybe I
Yeah.
won't. But, but, it doesn't matter who you are, a preacher of a church, a police officer, someone who's literally just a firefighter putting your life on the line, that you will have haters, you will have people that don't like you. But then I told Marcus the plus side of all these things. Like, you can inspire young kids to want to play baseball. You can inspire their parents to want to put their kids in sports. You can inspire kids who are having a tough time and they want to give up, and they see your stuff and they're like, oh man, like, this is inspiring. Like, maybe I can push through and work hard and love the work, right? Because my son, he loves the work right now. And so, but yeah, man, just let these stories and these people that we're talking about be a lesson to all you viewers, man.
Yeah, 100%. And social media, yeah, social media is a scary game too. Um, yeah, I had some hateful comments before, especially when I first started. But yeah, even with the podcast, the old podcast I had, Bibles and Giggles. It's crazy how fast the numbers grew on that. But I don't think they were expecting it because they were actually going to church, and we just talked about God. But there was a clip that did numbers, but she was wearing a red bracelet. I personally didn't even realize. I don't even know what that means. But the Christians attacked her. They were like, "Take that devil bracelet off." Yeah, it
A
was
red
crazy.
bracelet?
Yeah, but I didn't even do my research after, because after that, like, but I told him from the start, just like you did with your son. I was like, it's beautiful when you get the love, but hey, with that love, hate comes too, and and that's for everything, in life. Like you were just describing. Hey, the love is nice when the love is there, but when the hate comes, it gets dark sometimes. And
But
I'm
you know what's funny is what you said is it's beautiful when you get the love, but it's also beautiful when you get the hate, because that means you're onto something.
If you have that mindset, yeah. If you have that strong mindset, it's you describe it like that. But there's a lot of people that don't, and that hate
Exactly.
just that hate just destroys them, and and it sucks because they're like, I'm never touching the camera again. When maybe that was your opportunity right there, and that was your passion that you had, but you let one little bump just take you off the road, and it's like, damn. Um,
Yeah, bro. That's
we-
why it's it's not for everybody, man. And I believe anybody can learn it and get better and adapt in their toughness and character. But yeah, that's one of the things that's going to hold people back. That's one of the things that's going to is the comments or the emails or whatever it is for your occupation, business platform. Is can you handle the heat? You know what I'm
I don't know
saying?
if you've seen the sketch situation.
Sketch?
Do you know sketch?
No,
Really? That's
never heard of him.
crazy. You
He's
would
like a
think you
YouTuber.
yeah, he's like a streamer. He was like the biggest thing. He was doing deals with like the NFL. He's like, "What's up, brother?
Let me see.
You never
Oh
seen
yeah, I
it?"
do know him.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say
yeah. I know
he
him.
was all over everywhere. Well, he just had a
Yeah.
situation. His past caught up to him, and yeah, I'll let you do the research after we'll
Oh,
talk about it next episode or something. Um, but
oh, I see it.
yeah, yeah,
Dang,
yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, it was
Oh
that's
man.
what everybody was talking about it, and it was like I said, he was on top of the world. It was beautiful, but now it's it got really dark for him, and I feel for the kid, but it's like, hey, tough, tough, tough.
Dang, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just learning all this. I'm like, holy crap, But hey, whatever. To each their own, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To each his own.
To each, yep.
He did a stream after, and I think he handled it pretty well. You have to go see it. I don't think he could handle it any better than what he did. So shout out to him for
Yeah. Hats off.
taking the time off and staying composed because a lot of people are crack, man. That's what it is.
Yep. Yep. Shoot, man.
It's that.
Hats
It's
off.
about an hour, brother. How do you want to end this episode? You got something else?
Um, I like what you did last episode, bro. Like, what'd you do? Like, what was your high for the week?
Yeah, that was no. Last week I did the beauty and the ugly of the week. You know,
I like that. Let's do
I
that
feel
again,
like
bro.
all right. Let's keep ending it like that every episode. And the beauty, I'll go first if you want.
Go for it.
Um, see the beauty and the ugly. Ooh, I don't even know. I feel like I had a lot. I had a lot of things happen this week. It's crazy. The beauty is, sometimes I took a little vacation with the family to Indiana this past weekend, and I was rushing back to get because I had to work on Monday, so I was rushing back, and I was like, yeah, let's leave early. Um, it's I gotta go to work, and then it turns out today, they hit me with, you got to take a pay cut, and I told them I'm not, so I left that job. So I guess you know the beauty and the ugly is that I get more family time now, and that ugly situation made me realize how much I have become as a person. Because old me would have reacted different, and right now I'm cool and collect, and it's beautiful to see the growth that who I'm becoming, and I like I don't like being too comfortable, and I felt like I was being too comfortable. So maybe this is God telling me, hey, strap on, let's go on this roller coaster, and let's see where this takes me, brother.
I love that, bro. I love that, man. Man, I had all this time to think.
It's tough. It's tough. You were listening. You were listening.
Yeah, I was listening, bro, and that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I would say for me, um, just you know, gosh, man, there's always something to do, bro. Like, there's always something to do, and you talk about comfort. Gosh, I don't even know, man. Probably, um, just a combination of everything. getting stuff done around the house, yard work, like cleaning out my garage the other day. Doing the nitty gritty work of running a business and as a one man team and the podcast and everything. It's just like almost just everything can get overwhelming, bro. Everything can get overwhelming and kind of like try to drive me to be more comfortable than being proactive. So that's the ugly is like all those feelings, you know what I'm saying? But the beauty in it is, even though it's exhausting, getting stuff done, and especially with my son, like just doing baseball with him, and he started working out now. He started training. I forgot if I mentioned that last episode.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, he started training. So something light. He's only 7, but just getting everything done of just how amazing that feels. Like it really feels good to be exhausted at the end of the day from such a productive day. And on the contrary, when let's say I get a little comfortable, and my form of comfort is like studying something, like just sitting back and like watching something that's like I'm researching something when I really should be doing something else that actually needs to get done, like a sort of a deadline. Like that's my form of comfort. And that's a crappy feeling. Like it feels good in the moment, but then like, when time catches up to you, then it feels crappy. So the beauty, bro, is just the beauty's in the struggle, man. Just like my boy J. Cole said, Jermaine Cole said that there's beauty in the struggle. And, we especially as parents, we feel overwhelmed, we feel tired, but it's supposed to be that way. And there are some days that are easier than others, but for the most part, man, you're going to be much happier at the end of your days, at the end of your weeks, at the end of the year, and at the end of your lives and careers when you choose what's required over what's comfortable. And so, yeah, bro, that's what God has been putting on my heart a lot lately and allow me to experience, man. But that's my beauty and the ugly. What if we named it Beauty and the Struggle?
Hey,
I don't know. Hey, shoot, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, brother.
Shout out J. Cole.
Yeah, no, and bro, it's true. It's you even sleep better when you're exhausted. When you're so exhausted, you come home, you shower, and you go to bed. It's like, wow, I needed that.
Yep.
Rather than you gonna say something?
That's that good exhausted.
Yeah.
Right? The bad exhausted is when you're doing absolutely nothing up until 2 a.m. and then you wake up exhausted, right? That's bad.
Yeah.
That's the bad exhausted, right?
So go out there, guys, get some work, get exhausted, and get some great sleep. We end it like that.
Yes, sir.